Hello everybody, welcome back. Remember my testimony series? Remember the church I talked about in that testimony series? I don't go to that church anymore. It's not like I stopped going to church. I now go to a new church. In fact, two churches. I go to a main home church on Sundays, and then I go to my second church on Saturdays. That's the beauty of the second church. They have a Saturday option. But you might ask me, why did you leave your old church? You were so enthusiastic about it in your testimony series, and now you don't go there anymore? Why is that? I'm going to keep it brief. An incident happened involving me and someone else. A few others got involved. It really broke my heart, made me really upset. And God used that pain to tell me that my future spouse is not at this church. It's time to understand that there are other churches I can attend, and it is time to seek other churches. So now I attend a new church and the second church, and I'm honestly learning a lot more there, and I'm doing even better now with these new churches in my life. Maybe I'll elaborate on this in a later video. Not today. Today, what I'd like to discuss is, why does God remove fellow Christians from your Christian life? When you learn to live for Christ, when you learn to give your life to Christ and start living to serve the Lord, you will feel transformed from the inside out. And the people that God placed in your life to help you give your life to Christ are likely not going to stay with you. They were close with you when they were helping you get your life transformed into a life of serving the Lord. And now that you've done that, there's a good chance that God is going to move them away. You might not like that. You might care so much about them. You might just love them so much. You might be holding on to them. You might feel like you owe them something because you're extremely grateful for how much they helped you. But God placed them in your life for a reason. And now God is placing them away to give them new assignments. And so that you can listen to God to receive the new assignments God has for you. It might be hard to understand. And I'd like to explain a little more by explaining my story to help you better understand. So, remember the Christian parents I talked about in my testimony series? Those parents that were in charge of a small group. I attended the small group, and in turn those parents helped me get into daily Bible reading. They taught me to let go of sinful habits. And most importantly, they taught me to leave behind an old toxic relationship from the past. Well, they moved away, and you might remember last summer I made a video about my visit to them, and that was nice. Well, since then, God has moved them away from my life. Not just in terms of relocating them. I mean, God has moved them on to new assignments that God has for them. And God has new assignments for me. At the time, I didn't want to accept that. At the time, I truly felt that God wanted me to hold on to them. Even when I started attending these new churches. Remember, God moved them to a new city, therefore a new church, a year before I left my old church. Back when we were attending the same church together. And when I was attending my new church and my second church, I still kept thinking about that family. I kept thinking about those parents. And how much I cared about them. How much I just loved them with that good Christian agape love. Well, my care and closeness that I wanted to have for them was too far. I had so much care for those parents that I honestly thought God's next step for me was to make me an in-law to those parents. So in the weeks following, as I was attending my new church and my second church, my main church was teaching me the value in serving God through work and tithing. So I got a new source of income because I loved the church so much that I wanted to start tithing. And secondly, I thought I would use part of that income to visit that family more often. Also in the process, I started researching Christian dating. What goes into a Christian relationship? What goes into a Christian marriage? what goes into a Christian family, how to raise a Christian family. And when you become a Christian, yes, it is important to research these things. You want to know what goes into a Christian relationship, what goes into building your family to serve Christ during your time on earth before heaven. And that's very important. Even the churches right in front of me were hosting live sermons all about Christian relationships and marriage, and I obviously attended those. In addition to the research I was doing online, watching online sermons about Christian relationships and marriage. So, as I was texting the woman connected to the family, connected to those parents, I wasn't always getting a response, and usually that might be a red flag, but I felt that God was really pushing it in me to pursue harder, that God placed her in my heart for these reasons, and I needed to take more confidence in this as the man in the relationship. So I was watching an online sermon that taught me about letter writing. Couples who write letters to each other as a way of patience in a relationship. So I thought, that's a great idea. I'll write a letter. So I typed a letter and I mailed that letter out. A couple days go by. I didn't get a response right away. So I decided I'll write a second letter. I incorporated even more of what I was learning from the online sermons and the live sermons I was attending in these two letters. I sent the second letter out. A couple days go by. During those couple days, I got a brand new baptism at my main church, and I shared a video of that in my YouTube Shorts playlist, so you can look at that there. And after that, I did get a response to the second letter, and it was not the response I was looking for. This made me really upset. At first, I told her I was done communicating with her, and I let some time pass as I continued attending my main church and my second church. And as I let time pass, I thought a little more about it and decided, what else did I learn from those online sermons and even the live sermons? Relationships have conflicts, right? The man in the relationship has to take higher responsibility in the relationship, right? This is only our first conflict. And I, as the man, have to take an upper responsibility to resolve this conflict. In reality, those parents released me from the evil spirits that were making me hold on to an old toxic relationship of the past, and they reawakened my rude approach to pursuing relationships from before that toxic relationship ever started. I wrote a third letter. I got even more detailed than that. I sent it out. A couple days go by. And this just put a lot of pain on her, pain on the parents, and a lot of pain back on me. The father sent a message back to me. This time he was straight up. No tricks like how he got me to let go of the old toxic relationship. This time he was straight up. He sent me a long message. It was painful to read. And the message said, "You're doing this all wrong. Please stop writing. It's true, we want you to move on to the next steps God has for you, to build a Christian marriage and family. No one wants that more than us. But you're doing this wrong. This is not how you do this. Please step away. We will contact you when the time is right." So that really brought my emotions down. It was tough. I let some days go by. I didn't respond right away. And in those couple days, those couple weeks, I made an even closer commitment to the main church in front of me and my second church. Obviously, more of a commitment to my main church. And in that time, I got more appreciative of the Christian families that were right in front of me at these new churches. Primarily, the pastor and his wife and family at my main home church. Man, I remember before my first time attending my new main home church, I was researching the church, reading about it online, seeing some online past sermons, and I got so excited that I knew it. I'm going to sit in the front row at my first time at this church, and I'm going to worship, and I can't wait to talk to the pastor afterwards. And I remember after my first time there, the service ended and the pastor walked up to me to compliment my presence at the church. It wasn't that nice. So, since then, I've only committed more to the church. And I see now more and more how the pastor and his wife and family have taught me the value in serving God through work and through tithing. I know a lot of people have trouble with tithing. A lot of you struggle not wanting to tithe, but there is an importance to tithing. There is an importance in giving a portion of your income to the church. You know, you're really giving your money to God, but I can elaborate on that in a later video. I started committing more to the small groups at my main church and my second church, and gaining more and more from the community groups I had there, talking to more fellow Christians there, telling them my testimony, telling them how even those past Christian parents helped me. And after some time passed, I finally decided to message back the father from those parents before. So I messaged him, "I'm sad and sorry about the pain I caused on your family, and I'm sad for our contact to end this way, realizing I badly messed this up. I now attend this new church and a second church. The pastor and his wife at the main church I attend have taught me the value in serving God through work and tithing, and I'm grateful. I hope you and your family are doing well at this time. God bless." A couple days after, the father did get back to me, and he said, "Our contact has not ended. You're my Christian brother. Talk to me about anything." God bless. That was nice of him. Now, all this actually happened a couple months ago. This is actually before this past Christmas. So since then, I have messaged that father twice. He hasn't gotten back to me, but his family and career have his priority over me. It was sad to accept this, but accepting it does help me get into the next steps that God has for me. God has different plans for that family, and God has different plans for me. Those parents, they're transforming the lives of others now. I'm taking what I've learned from them and from the new churches I attend now and incorporating that into my next mission for God. And God has even placed new families in my life to help me with this. The pastor and his wife and family at my main home church, they've really gotten me going. They've gotten me working. They've gotten me to keep God as the main step in my agenda. Because it's not about me, it's about God. The old Christian family got me to live for Christ. And the pastor and his wife that are teaching me now, they've taught me to work for Christ. And I know they're not done teaching me yet. And that's what I have to conclude. That when God removes fellow Christians from your Christian life, it's because God has new assignments for you. And in that process, God is placing new Christians in your life who are even better. And in turn, will better help you in the next steps that God has for you in your path for serving the Lord. And whenever I have to miss church, I know it is my duty to be the church away from church. Such as if I'm attending a convention, like when I attended WonderCon several weeks ago, I was definitely learning to be the church away from church, and I'm going to do the same when I attend Comic-Con this summer, because I am going back to Comic-Con. That's right. You might remember last summer I had to miss Comic-Con, and I chose to visit that old Christian family that weekend instead, and this year I'm going back to Comic-Con. That's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to that. So, that's the conclusion. And I'm going to check the live chat, see if anyone has any questions. I can stay a little while longer before I have to go inside for the sermon. Okay, I'm gonna just check the chat. How do I check the messages? Can I see the chat? Has no one sent anything? All right, no questions right now? All right. Well, I'm going to close it there. Oh, yes. Hello to you. Thank you for watching. Yes. Glad to know some of you are tuning in. Yeah. I'm glad to know some of you are using the live chat. All right. We're going to get going now. I'm going to head into this service. Hope you gained a lot from the live stream. I'm going to make sure this stream goes live and stays public for you to see. And I'm going to get going. Thank you all for watching. God bless, Godspeed, and subscribe to me for more videos if you haven't already. Hit the bell if you want notifications. I'm creating more for you. Have a great week and a great life, and always love yourself for who you are. See you around.